welcome to another in our series of Agile video shorts. My name is Jerry Stubbs and I head up our Agile practice here in the UK. Many of our clients are operating projects using Waterfall in a distributed way. They have teams that are separated by buildings, by towns, by countries, even by continents. They're concerned though that this might affect their ability to become agile. So I'd like to spend the next few minutes reassuring them that this is possible and illustrating how we can help make that work. Firstly though, let's recall that Agile is underpinned by a manifesto, which includes our values. We are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others do it. The tense is important here. This is a present tense, tomorrow will always be better. Through this work we have come to value individuals and interactions over processes and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, responding to change over following a plan. And that is, while there is value on items on the right, we value those on the left even more. And beneath that manifesto we have a set of 12 principles. These include the following. Our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. We welcome changing requirements, even late in development. Agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. So not only here are we welcoming change, but we're actually driving it. We deliver working software frequently, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months with a preference to the shorter timescale. The more frequently we deliver software, the easier it is for us to make changes. Business people and developers must work together daily throughout this process. We build projects around motivated individuals. We give them the environment and the support they need and trust them to get the job done. This trust is key, and we'll see that this is reflected in other things later. The most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation, and you can imagine we'll revisit this one. Working software is the primary measure of progress. The 8th principle, Agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, developers and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. Contrast this with Waterfall. 9th, continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility. 10th, simplicity, the art of maximising the amount of work not done is essential. So this is our lean approach. This is our means of being able to identify work that we don't need to do. The 11th, the best architectures, requirements and design, it all emerge from self-organising teams. And 12th, at regular intervals the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behaviour accordingly. These of course are the retrospectives, and we'll be talking more about those a little later. Many approaches to Agile successfully meet these principles, including Scrum, XP, Kanban, adaptive software development, Crystal, feature-driven development, Lean and many others. And more will certainly join this family as different approaches evolve. You'll notice from these principles though that at least 3 of them are centred around communication. Specifically our 4th, where we emphasise how essential it is for the development team and the business to work together. 12th, where the team need to reflect as a group. And, crucially, our 6th, which states categorically that we should aspire to face-to-face conversation. We know, though, that face-to-face communication isn't always practicable, and there are many organisational and commercial drivers for dispersing a software development team. So let's see how we can mitigate the effects of dispersing an Agile development team. An important point to note here though is that distributing your Agile team should form part of your Agile transition strategy. Then everybody appreciates the why distribution needs to take place. To start with though, we'll focus on some examples that we've seen of how not to do it. Traditional waterfall software development divides work into discrete sequential phases. If they're standalone, then there's an element of handover. And if this handover is effectively policed by quality gates, for example, then these phases could probably take place in separate locations. However, we know that a fixed period phased approach to development often squeezes testing, which frequently results in poor quality live products that your customers then need to debug. For these and many other reasons, Agile doesn't take a phased approach. All of these and other key interactions happen together. Specifications adapt according to design. Testing occurs before and then during development. Implementations happen as we code, and so on. Similarly, Waterfall has discrete activities for defined roles. and, for the most part, these roles are linked to phases. And since that's the case, there tends not to be much interaction between people performing these different roles. In many respects, these are bubbles of communities through which work flows. But because we don't use a phased approach in Agile, these roles are deliberately blurred. In fact, in Agile, they're not even defined. For good reason and to good effect. We have, for example, expert testers in an Agile team who can code and need to create test fixtures, who can shape specifications and acceptance criteria, who can influence designs to improve testability, who are running continuous integration environments, and so on. Trying then to distribute Agile development by function, coding in Paris, testing in Bangalore, for example, seriously undermines an Agile team's ability to satisfy their customers by welcome changing requirements and to delivering working software frequently. A team's ability to interact once distributed over wide-ranging time zones can also be an issue. The opportunity for them to work effectively as one team can be reduced significantly by separating them by as little as a few hours, though most of us are familiar with teams spread on opposite sides of the globe. Language poses an obvious issue, but so too does culture. Teams distributed over different cultures may share different values, customs, attitudes, beliefs, courtesies, rituals, roles, practices, expected behaviours, ceremonies, traditions, heritages, some of which may not be visible nor obvious, and many of which will impede a team from performing well together. Unless an organisation has embraced their team's need to self-organise, it's our 11th principle, and trust them to get the job done, it's our 5th principle, then they may revert to command and control. Imposing ways of working and directing approaches to development undermines Agile even more. So let's see how we can make distributed Agile work for our clients. Firstly, an important message here is that Agile teams can work effectively when distributed, and here are a few tips. Firstly, consider all-hand projects kick-off meetings where the team can share a common understanding and start to build trust in one another. Make effective use of communications technology to make it feel like the teams are as one. This includes use of shared collaborative ALM tools and CI pipelines, for example. Don't try to allocate roles or functions based on geography. Have whole teams at each location. And try to keep your team sizes small. Keep your business people engaged and involved. They are part of the team. Maximise contact time by selecting teams in nearby time zones. The teams themselves may try changing working hours and will have aligned their daily stand-ups. Effecting change that results from retrospectives may need your help. Keep in touch with the team's concerns and actions. Be prepared to fly individuals or groups between development sites to facilitate progress. A short face-to-face can save weeks' worth of issues. And great facilitation is essential. Use professional Scrum Masters if you're using Scrum, or Agile coaches to anticipate and prevent issues before they happen. And one very last point. Once you have your distributed Agile working properly for you, consider then how best to scale it, whether using SAFe, DAD or less. You should have this built into your Agile transformation strategy. So distributed Agile is perfectly possible, providing you anticipate the problems and get the help you need. Thank you for watching.